Let's have a look at these. If I put down p of x, we've got ax cubed plus bx squared plus d, and it says that a, b and d are not 0, all right? So we're talking double root, so we're going to look at p dash of x. So p dash of x would be this equation here. Now, if we have a double root, that would have to equal 0, right? Because it's a double root. So let's have a look at factorizing that, because we can. We would get this. So if that equaled 0, either x would equal 0 or our x would equal, and we would be solving 3ax, the bracket plus 2b would equal 0. So you can see that x would equal, if I minus 2b first and then divide by 3a, I get x. So I've got negative 2b on 3a. Now if x equals 0, let's put it, if you could see, if we subbed it back into here, if we subbed in p of 0, we would just get d, and we can see the equation equals 0, but then d would be 0, and it says d is non-zero. So x equals 0 only works if d equals 0. But our d is not equal to 0, so our double root must come from x equals 2b on 3a. If that's the case, then when we put it in the equations, we would get, so when I sub it in, minus 2b on 3a, we can see for dash, we would get, for the first derivative equation, we would get 0, but it also has to work, of course, in p of x to be the double root. So let's make it work here. So we've got a times, and we would have this all cubed, plus b times this all squared, plus, oh, hang on, I'm reading the right one, yes, plus d, and that has to equal 0. Okay, so let's make it equal to 0. So if we have a look here, we have got, excuse me, negative 2 cubed is negative 8, and then we've got a b cubed. On the bottom we would have 3 cubed is 9, and then we'd have a cubed, but there's also an a on top, so that's just a squared. If I look at the next one here, negative 2 squared is 4, and I'm going to have b squared, but it's actually cubed because there's a b out the front. And on the bottom I've got 9a squared. And did I do this one wrong? Yes, because that should be a 27 because that is cubed. Alright, and then I've got plus d equals 0, and I'm going to run out of room, so I'll just move it up here. Alright, if I make a common denominator here, what I want to do is make this a 27, this one, if I times both top and bottom by 3, I'll now have 27a squared, but I also want to times this one by 27a squared on 27a squared. Now there's a common denominator. So if I times do by that common denominator, I have negative 8b cubed plus, here I've got 12b cubed, and I've got 27a squared d. Okay, so having a look at that, I'm going to keep the 27a squared d first, and then I've got 12b cubed minus 8b cubed, which is 4b cubed. And that is, if we have a look, oops, I think that's what we wanted. So there's a hint, show that there. Okay, hope that helped.